Well, hey everyone, it's Marcus and welcome to more Chatting in My Jungle Room. I'm totally thrilled today because I'm heading up to the Sunshine Coast where I am talking to Jeff Martin. Jeff, hey, how are you today?
Marcus, I'm doing very, very well. How are you?
I'm not too bad, thank you. So Sunshine Coast today, was it lovely?
It's gorgeous, yes. Up here on the mountain, down at the coast, the Sunshine Coast, well, it's quite humid and whatever, but up here on the mountain, it's quite pleasant and enjoying life.
I like it. Talking about humid, I just got back from Bali last week and look what it does to my,
Uh,
I'm a mess.
I can relate, man. Like when I let my hair down in humidity, it's not a good thing.
Hey,
Yes.
we'll just roll with it. We'll call it part of the job. Hey, of course, Jeff, why we are chatting today is because you're about to start a massive tour of Australia celebrating Neil Young from Harvest to Harvest Moon, the show is called. So much to unpack there. First of all, how did the show come about?
It came about because a gentleman named Fraser, who is the CEO of Metropolis Touring. About 6 or 7 years ago, I did a celebration of the music of REM with his touring company and with a bunch of other musicians. And it was a wonderful experience. I have to be perfectly honest. REM, their music, as much as I do appreciate it, it wasn't really, not an influence on me by any means, but I was very honored to be a part of that concert series. And because it was a real beautiful experience, like the camaraderie and the musicality of the band that backed up the singers on that tour. Well, it's the same band, more or less. So Paul McDonald, who is the leader, the musical leader of the band that will be backing up the three of us on the Neil Young shows. I recall the very last show that we did for the REM celebration. Paul and I were having a couple glasses of wine after the last show, and we were both, just recounting how great the experience was, and wouldn't it be great to do it again? And then Paul offered up the question, like if we were to do this again, what artist would we tackle? And almost like syncretically, Paul and I said at the same time, Neil Young. So many years later, here we are, and we're about to do it.
Yeah, finally. And I mean, of course, you've got two other guys up the front with you as well. Shane Nicholson, of course, who was a multiple ARIA and Golden Guitar winner, but also Richie Lewis, of course, from Tumbleweed. Exciting.
Yeah.
Have you worked with these guys before?
No, actually, I've never met Shane personally. I believe that I've met Richie in the 90s, but because it was the 90s, they, yeah.
I hear you. I hear you. I mean, obviously, the 90s is when the Tea Party band all became back in the Canadian days of yours. The Tea Party, how's all that coming along now? Are you still doing much work with them?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's quite the phenomenon because it seems that when the Tea Party tours, like we did last year in here in Australia in June, and then we did a big festival tour in July in Canada. It seems that, especially on the live front, the band is getting more and more successful as every year goes by because a new generation is getting introduced to the band's music. So it's a wonderful thing. With the Tea Party's music, it's not set in stone, like as far as like, oh, it reminds you of a certain sound from a certain decade. Like the Tea Party's music is, I would say, very timeless.
Yep.
And you know, and it shows with what's happening with the audiences, you know, around the world. And I think that come the middle of 26, there's definitely going to be some new Tea Party music coming to the shores of Australia.
That is going to make the fans extremely happy, I know. Hey, back onto Neil Young for a minute. Obviously, I mean, Neil Young, I mean, just a tremendous, incredible career with an incredible catalogue. How or has Neil influenced your career in any way at all?
Well, I first experienced Neil Young's music. I was about 17 years old, and a friend of mine, and I'm going to be dating myself now, but gave me a cassette of Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, their record Deja Vu, right? And I wore out that cassette. I just couldn't get enough of the songs, and that's kind of what led me down the rabbit hole regarding Neil's own solo work. And also, you know, being Canadian, so Jeff and I and Stuart from the Tea Party, we all come from a little town, it's the southernmost city in Canada called Windsor. It's right across the river from Detroit, Michigan. But a lot of people from that town, that city, like most Canadians, there's the what we call the Cottage Country District. It's just north of Toronto. It's the Muskoka Lakes, and you know, if you were you know, privileged enough to have a friend or relatives that had a cottage up that way, chances are that when night fell and campfires were lit, all you could hear around the lake was pretty much Neil Young playing on, like, you know, the little boom boxes, right? Yeah, because it's such a part of the Canadian psyche, you know. Those records like Harvest or even Harvest Moon, it stands the test of time as far as the campfire test is concerned. You know?
So, with obviously such a large collection of songs to be able to choose from, how do you go about selecting the set list? Is it, you know, the hits, or is it some of your personal favorites, or is it some of the challenging songs? How do you do it?
Well, I feel very fortunate that I got first dibs on the songs, you know. And so what I did was the five that I'm playing, I picked songs that were beautiful memories, milestones in my life, right? Just so that emotionally I could do them justice. Because the thing that we need to understand, people that are coming to the show, what they need to understand is that this is not a tribute band or a tribute concerts, right? Where, and like, no offense to tribute bands, but tribute bands will get up on stage and they're trying to basically emulate more or less exactly what the artist did, right? But with what Shane and I and Richie are meant to do with this concert is it's our interpretations and our personal interpretations of the great man's work. So that's what I think is going to make this night very special, or these nights. Yes.
Well, you've probably pretty much just answered my next question by responding with that. But I was just going to say, what can we expect from the show?
Well, first of all, you know, with Shane and with Richie, I mean, you know, their pedigree speaks for themselves, right? And we've yet to rehearse because that won't happen until August. But what I'm anticipating, you know, judging by, you know, the talent that comes from those two and what I'm going to do with this incredible backing band is it's going to offer like more or less like a certain slant of light concerning Neil's songs, because as I said, it's not a tribute, it's an interpretation. It is a celebration, but I think that the differences between my style of music, Shane's, and Richie's, it's going to really add like a kaleidoscope of colors for the evening.
Hey, so back onto you for a minute. Obviously, a 30-plus-year-old career and still kicking butt. Over 4 billion albums sold. Oh, sorry, so 4 million. So look at me.
Man, if it was 4 billion, I wouldn't be talking to you right now.
Let's go with billion. Hey, 4 million records sold. Obviously, Tea Party formed in 1980.
1990.
1990, sorry, I misread that. That's my bad. What is one of your biggest achievements? What is something that really stands out for you as a proud moment?
Well, all of our records, the Tea Party's records, mean something different yet the same for me. I'm proud of everything we achieved, but I think that if there was to be a touchstone or a catalyst, our second record, our sophomore record, The Edges of Twilight, really defined the sound of the Tea Party, with that whole, I guess you'd call it like, what the critics called it and still call it to this day, the Moroccan roll thing. The way that the Tea Party combined musical influences from, let's say, the countries of India or Middle Eastern countries or North African countries, and fused it with hard rock music, especially on that record. That set us apart from our peers at the time, like, your Pearl Jams and the Soundgardens and Smashing Pumpkins and all that stuff, right? There was no one else that sounded like the Tea Party, and still to this day, no one does.
Agreed, 100%. So, hey, look, you've already answered my last question, which was going to be, what's next for Jeff Martin and or the Tea Party, which, like you've just said, there's some new stuff coming along possibly next year and a tour, etc. But I'm going to throw the curveball one in then. Obviously, 30 plus years of working in the industry, what keeps you inspired? What keeps you, coming up with your creative ideas these days?
It's the drive to better myself as an artist. I don't like to stand on ceremony, and I don't like to rest on my laurels, right? I want to keep on improving as an artist, like as a guitarist, as a songwriter, and to be quite truthful, Marcus, so like the moment that you think you've done it all, right, you're just deceiving yourself, because nothing is ever finite. It's infinite, the ability to passionately create music and to advance, better yourself. It's always there, and I just want to keep getting better.
Yep Until we die, right? Keep on growing.
Exactly. And then even after that,
and then even after, who knows, right? Keep on creating always, and share it with love. Hey, Jeff Martin, Shane Nicholson, Richie Lewis are celebrating Neil Young from Harvest to Harvest Moon. It's doing the most of Australian tour. Brisbane on 22nd of August, 23rd of August is Sydney, 11th of September is Adelaide, yay, and 12th of September is Melbourne. Jeff, what an absolute pleasure chatting with you today, and I wish you all the best for the upcoming tour. I will see you here in Adelaide, and I can't wait.
Thank you, Marcus. I will be able to pick you out. Yes.
They always say that. They say that. Thank you, my friends. Have a great day and enjoy rehearsals and everything you get up to.
All right. Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, buddy. Bye.
Bye.